Hey friends, welcome back to my channel Study with Ishant. And this is the part 2 of the NEET 2026 physics paper solution. And in this series, I will be covering the question number 21 to 45. Okay, so let us continue the series. And the question is from the chapter Work Power Energy. The question is saying Bob B of mass m at rest is hanging vertically from the ceiling via a massless string of length 10 centimeters. Okay, now, as shown in the figure, point mass A of mass m traveling horizontally with a speed 10 meter per second. Okay, hits the bob B elastically. Okay, this is an elastic collision. Okay, the bob B rises h meter after the collision, taking the acceleration to gravity as 10. You need to tell the value of height. How much height does this bob rises after the collision? A very easy question. Okay, you see when this bob hits when this small bobs get hit by this mass, then it will rise at a height of h. Okay, so initially at this point, because this particle is approaching towards the bob, so it may be having a kinetic energy. Okay, this is at rest, so it don't have any kinetic energy, not have any potential energy. Now this kinetic energy of this ball, so it will be what? The kinetic energy of the ball, so half m by which it's approaching the bob, va square. After it hits the ball, uh, it hits this ball. Okay, it hits this ball, so it rises at a height h. It rises at a height h. So the kinetic energy of this ball converts into potential energy, and it will be equal to mg into h. Just you have to do this. Okay, substituting the values. So half into mass. What is the bob B of mass m? What is the mass of this small bob? Bob. Okay, so mass is not given. You can just cancel it. Okay, va square means velocity at by which it's approaching. It's 100 means 10 ka square 100. G you have to take 10 into h. Okay, this cancel to 5. So what will be the height? Height is 5 meters. Means the bob rises at a 5 meter of height. This is a very easy question. So option number 4 is the correct answer. Okay, moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. The next question is from the chapter EM waves, and this is a quite good question of EM waves because generally from EM waves they ask a basic question on the relation E is equal to BC, and this question can be known as the form combination of four questions in one. Okay, so this was a good question of what EM waves in the NEET paper. But a problem is there. This question will be a bonus question. Why? Because two options among this are incorrect. Which two are there? Let us see. See, the question is saying that an EM wave traveling in a lossless dielectric medium having a dielectric constant ER is equals to 9. So ER is what? 9. In an electric field, AX is equals to what? See, you have been given the value of expression for electric field. EX is equals to E naught sine kz minus 2 pi into 10 की power 60. Okay, where E naught is amplitude of vector, K is wave vector. Among these following options, we need to tell which is incorrect. Let us look the first option. The direction of the propagation of the electromagnetic wave is along z direction. Means EM wave is traveling along the z direction. See, the electric field is along the z axis, x axis. It is traveling along x axis, and because the sign here is what? The sign of kx minus omega t is there. Generally, it is written as kx minus omega t. Okay, but the wave here is propagating in plus z direction. Okay, the electric field wave is traveling in plus z direction. Okay, so obviously the electromagnetic wave will also travel in the plus z direction. Means the first option is very correct. Means first option is wrong. Matlab first option is correct means we will not mark this option. Okay. Next, the speed of the electromagnetic wave inside the medium is 10 to the power 8. See, what is the speed of an electromagnetic wave inside the medium? It is not 3 to 10 to power 8. It is c upon root over er mu r. This is the formula. C is the speed in vacuum and V is the speed in any medium. Okay, so ER is what, 9, and mu R we take as 1. So V will be what, 3 into 10 to the power 8 upon root over 9. This is coming out to be 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Means this option is also correct. So not. Now next, the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave inside the medium is 300 meters. See, what is the wavelength that you write? If you see this equation, it is kz minus omega t. Omega is what? 2 pi into 10 to the power 6. Okay. And we know that uh, omega is equals to v by k. Or you know that this from here you can see that the wave vector, it is 2 pi by lambda. Okay. Now omega is here. You can take out what? From here you will need to take out the lambda. So we know that uh, V is equals to omega upon k. Okay. V is equals to omega upon k. Now omega will be equal to Vk. So k will be equal to omega upon k. So what is omega here? 2 pi into 10 to the power 8, 6. 2 pi into 10 to the power 6 upon uh, k got omega by v, omega by v, and v is what, 10 to the power 8. So 10 to the power 8, this is cancelled, so it is coming out to be 2 pi upon 10 to the power 2. This is the k. Okay, so the value of k you need to substitute here. Now k is what, 2 pi by 100 is equals to 2 pi by lambda. Means 2 pi cancel, lambda is coming out to be 100 meters. Lambda is 100 meters, and here it is saying 300 meters. Means this option is correct because this option is wrong. Okay. Now last option, the magnetic field is given by the expression By is equals to B naught by V sin ZT. See, magnetic field will be in the y direction. Why? Because electric field in the x direction, and E and B are always perpendicular to each other. So E and wave will be traveling in the positive z direction. Okay. How? You need to take, see, electric field is in the I cap direction and magnetic field is in the j cap direction. So the EM wave which is propagating along these is I cross j, which will be what, k cap. Means in the positive z axis the wave will be traveling. And here it is, see, By is equal to B naught by V. Here it is B naught by V, and V the speed in the inside the electromagnetic medium. No, it should be B naught by C, because generally we write the relation as E is equals to BC, and C is the speed of light in vacuum. So B will be E by C. Okay, B will be E by C, and here it's saying B naught by V, which is totally wrong. Okay, means this option will be also correct. So two options are here incorrect. So the answer should be option number 3 and 4. So this question will be what? Dropped. This question is bonus. Marks will be awarded to all the candidates. Okay. One more question is dropped there, which is of Wendell caliper experimental physics. I will be taking that question as well. But this was the question which was bonus. Two questions are bonus in the physics question, which are this and the other one of Wendell caliper. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. The next question is from the chapter work, power, energy. Okay. This question is basically based on the Newton's laws of motion concept. Okay. And the work done concept of work, power, energy, work done by friction. It is used here. Okay. The question is a quite good question, or you can say it is an easy question. But in the exam temperament, these type of questions where friction is also a variable, these type of questions create a trouble. Okay, question is saying a particle of mass then moves along a horizontal x-axis from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 12. Okay, the coefficient of kinetic friction varies as a function of x. Okay, where mu naught alpha are constants. Okay, dimensions, so that mu k l is equal to 0. Okay, this relation we have been given. So it's saying the total work done by the frictional force during the motion is L mu naught mg. We need to find the value of M. Means we need to find the work done by friction. What is work done by friction? It is the coefficient, frictional coefficient into mg. This is the work done by friction that we generally learn. But because the friction is variable here, for different x, friction is different. You need to integrate this from 0 to L, and this all will be in the dx. You need to do like this for a dx element. Okay. Now, if you draw the diagram of this is the, suppose the particle mass is m, it is moving along a horizontal, okay, and the mu k is applying here, okay, mu k x is applying here, mu naught minus alpha x, this is here, okay. So now, what will you do? You will just integrate it, okay. Here, one thing we have been given it what? Mu k L is equals to 0. Means if you substitute x is equals to L here and put it is equal to 0, then your answer would be there. Okay, means 0 is equals to, this is given, mu k x is equals to mu naught minus alpha x. Put x is equals to L and substitute to 0, you will get mu naught is equals to alpha L. This relation may be used in the further question. Okay, first of all, let's sum up this integration. Okay, so this integration can be done quite quickly, and you can do this. See, this is from 0 to L, and mu k is what? Mu k is mu naught minus alpha x into mg dx. Okay, now you can integrate it further. This will be what? Mg is constant, so it will came out from the integration, and from 0 to L mu naught dx minus 0 to L alpha x dx. Just integrate it. It will be what? It will be mg into mu naught L minus alpha into L square by 2 if you substitute the limit finally. And this is what your work done by friction. This is the work done by friction. Now, here a relation is given, mu naught is equals to alpha L. Mu naught is equals to alpha L. So you can substitute alpha L here. Okay, substitute alpha L here. Mu naught will be what? Alpha L. You can substitute here. So work done by friction will be mg into mu naught is equal to alpha L. So alpha L square minus alpha L square by 2. Work done by friction will be mg into alpha L square by 2. Okay, alpha L square by 2, and you can see that alpha into L is what? Mu naught. You can write it as mg into L. Okay, mg into L into alpha L by 2. So alpha into L is what? From this relation mu naught. So it will be what? mg L mu naught by 2. This is the final expression that you got. Okay, comparing it from the above equation, it is what? M times mu naught mgl. Okay, so from here mu naught mgl cancel. Okay, so from here n is coming out to be 1 by 2. Means option number 1 is the answer for this question. A very easy question. You need to just integrate and solve and use this expression and answer will be there. Okay, let us move on to the next question. Okay, friends, let us move on to the next question. The next question is from the chapter ray optics, and from the topic apparent depth. Okay, so this type of question is generally the type of question where you need to just focus on one formula, and from that formula your answer will be there. apparent depth. Okay, apparent depth concept is used here. Okay, the question is saying consider three media P, Q, R. Okay, there are three media P, Q, and R. Okay, of refractive indexes 1, 1.25, and 1.5 respectively. Okay, the medium Q having a thickness of 5 centimeter. Now, if the medium Q is having a thickness of 5 centimeter, then obviously the equal parts will be have all 5 centimeter only. If this is 5 centimeter, as well this is 5, this is 5. Okay, between the extension medium PQR. Okay, if the object O is placed at the center of the medium Q, object O is placed at the center of medium Q. Okay, if viewed from the medium P, अगर ये if this object is viewed from the medium P, okay, is viewed from medium P near the normal direction, the apparent depth of O is h1. If this object is viewed from this point P, then the apparent depth is h1, and if it viewed from point R, its apparent depth is h2. We need to tell the modulus of h1 minus h2. Okay, so let us solve this question. First of all, I will be redrawing this diagram here. See, this and this. This is the point O, and this is 5 centimeters, and this is R, which is having 1.5, Q having 1.25, and P having 1. Now, this object O is viewed from P. So, if this is the point P and from here we viewed, so the light rays from O will travel through P, okay. Then we have a formula of apparent depth. Assuming that the apparent depth from point O to P is d dash. D dash upon D is equals to mu2 minus mu1. This is the formula which you need to remember. What is mu2? Mu2 is refractive index from where, or you can say refractive index of that medium, where light is going, and mu1 will be what? Mu1 will be refractive index of medium from where light is going, or traveling. Okay, this is the concept here. Now here it is saying the apparent depth from P when it is viewed to the object O is h1. So we will write d dash as h1. So h1 by d is equals to mu2 by mu1. Just substitute the values. What will be the d? The d will be the distance. See, the distance of this object O from this medium P. So what will be this distance, this center distance? Object O is placed at the center of Q. So this is 5 centimeters. So center will be what? 2.5. This is the relative depth of this point O with respect to P. Okay. So this will be what? h1 upon 2.5. And where the light is going? The light is going in the medium of 1. Okay. So mu2 will be what? 1. The light is going to medium 1. So mu2 will be 1. And from where it is going? 1.25. So upon 1.25. Just solve this. Your h1 will be what? h1 will be 2.5 upon 1.25. This will be what? This will be 25 upon 125. This will be 10 upon 5. This will be 2. Means h1 is what? 2 centimeters. Okay. Now we need to find h2. What was h2? h2 was the apparent depth when the object O is viewed from R. Okay. Same for this. When this light O travels to the medium R, same concept. Okay. This will be what the apparent depth is written as h2. So same formula, h2 by d is equals to mu2 by mu1. So d will be as usual 1.25 only. Okay, because from the center this distance is also 2.5. So they will be summing up and they will be what? 5 centimeters. Okay, so d will be 2.5 and mu2. Where this light is going? In the medium 1.5. In the 1.5 medium, and from it is traveling from the medium 1.25. So it will be what? h2 upon 2.5 will be equal to 1.5 upon 1.25. So from here your h2 will be what? H2 will be 1.5 into 2.5 upon 1.25. Okay, it will be what? It will be 25, 5, 5, 3. It will be 3 centimeters. Means H2 is 3 centimeters. Okay, now you have to tell mod of H1 minus H2. So mod of H1 minus H2. So it will be what? Mod of H1. H1 is what? 2. 2 minus 3, it will be 1. Because there is modulus, so negative will turn into plus. So the answer for this question is option number 3, 1. Okay, so this was the question. Very easy question. Just have to apply this formula. You have to remember this formula and apply the concept, and the question will be solved. It was an easy question. Okay, so moving on to next question. Okay, friends, moving on to the next question. The next question is a very good question, and this question is inspired from JEE Mains 2019 physics paper. And the question is a quite simple question. Question is from the chapter electrostatics. Okay. Question is saying consider a fixed uniform charge insulating sphere with a radius r and a total charge plus q. Okay. So the question is saying we have to consider a fixed uniformly charged insulating sphere. This is a sphere. Okay. This is a sphere with the radii r. Radii is ka r, and the charge is plus capital Q, and a point charge minus q with a mass of m is released from rest at a distance 3r from the center. This is the center of this charge sphere, sorry, and at a distance 3r, a small point charge of the charge minus q and mass m is released towards it. Okay. Now it is saying its speed when it reaches to the surface of the sphere, means when it reaches at this point A, we need to tell the speed at this point. Okay, we need to tell what? We need to tell VA. Now just remember, in these type of questions where a fixed sphere is there and a charge is approaching towards it, you need to find the velocity. Just have to apply the conservation of mechanical energy, because energy is not lost here. Okay, so apply conservation of mechanical energy. So here, if you see, initially velocity is 0. This is not approaching, the velocity is 0. Okay, so kinetic energy initial plus u initial is equals to kinetic energy final plus u final. You have to apply this. So initially velocity is 0, means 0, and the potential between these two, charges. Okay, so what is the potential between these two charges? Minus of k q1 q2 by what? Minus k q1 q2 by r. The distance between these two charges is what? These two charges, see, when the velocity is 0, then this charge, means this sphere, is applying a potential towards it. So the value of the potential will be k q1 q2 by r. Okay, is equal to the final kinetic energy. Finally, it is approaching towards this with a velocity v, assuming the velocity is va, because we are approaching towards it. So what is velocity of this small minus q charge? It will be half mv square. Then the potential again between these two charges when it is approaching towards this point, it will be minus of k q1 q2 upon the distance between the charge and the sphere, 3r. Just apply this. Minus sign is there because the charge is minus. Now you have to just solve this and your answer will be there. Okay. So half mv square will be equal to k q1 q2 upon 3r minus of k q1 q2 upon r. Okay. And this will be half mv square is equals to k q1 q2 upon r, or 1 by 3 minus 1. Okay, it will be half mv square is equals to k q1 q2 upon r. Sorry, this will be 2 by 3. Okay, this will be 2 by 3. So half mv square is equals to 2kqq upon 3r. This is there. Okay, now I am solving it in another side. So this will be what? it will be 4kq 4kq upon 3mr root is equals to your velocity. Velocity. Okay. Now you need to just simplify this. It will be root over q upon this will be 3 mr into 4 pi epsilon naught into 4 4 cancel is equals to v. So the velocity expression will be coming out to be root over q upon 3 pi mr epsilon naught. This is the final expression for velocity. Under root में q upon 3 pi m epsilon naught r q. Yes, option number 4 is the answer. Okay, just apply the mechanical conservation of energy and your answer will be there. You have to just apply this and your answer will be there in these type of question. Okay, pretty simple question. Okay, now moving on to next question. Let us move on to the next question. The next question is a type of question where students may regret. Why? Because generally when we study kinematics, the last topic where you generally study about the riverboat problem or the person which is swimming at any angle and you have to tell at how much angle it will be swim to the next one. Next side, okay, means banking of road another concept is told to you. Okay, with riverman problem and riverboat problem questions, we generally tell you about this banking of road concept. General students take it in light that the question might not come, but see, question has come and one formula and all the questions are come. Okay, simple question that a car travels on a circular racetrack of radius 50 meters, which is at banked at an angle theta. Okay, and if the car travels with a speed of 10 meter per second, then the wear and tear on its tire. This is there you are there they have tricked you. Wear and tear means friction, the coefficient of friction. Okay, on its tire is minimum means that mu is minimum means mu is tending to zero. Mu is tending to zero. Okay, taking g is equal to 10, we have to tell the value of theta. A formula which is very important and the students who are going to give NEET next year, just remember this formula. The banking of road formula is root rg mu tan theta mu plus tan theta upon 1 plus mu tan theta. This is the formula. Okay, this is the formula root rg under root में mu plus tan theta upon 1 plus mu tan theta. Now what is this question saying? This question is saying mu is tending to 0. We have to tell the value of theta. Here velocity is given as 10 meter per second and the radius is 50 meter per second. Sorry. Radius is 50 meters and g is 10. So just substitute the values and as it is tending to 0, then we can take mu is equals to 0. That roughly that mu is 0 only. Okay. So taking velocity is 10 is equals to root over this will be 500. Yeah, this will be 500 and mu is 0 means tan theta. This mu 0, so this term will be 0 and this whole term will be 0, only 1 will left. Squaring both the sides, so 1 by 5 is equals to your tan theta. Tan theta is 1 by 5 means theta is tan inverse 1 by 5. This is the value of theta. Just mark the option second and move on. See, very easy question. Only they have tricked you in this. The wear and tear on its tire is minimum, means mu is tending to 0. Always remember that. Okay, let us move on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Next question is also from the chapter rotational dynamics, and rotational motion has a very vast application and weightage in this paper. Okay, so the question is saying a frictionless circular wire of unit radius, okay, is fixed on a horizontal plane. This is the figure. Two point particles unit mass start moving simultaneously from point A, theta is equals to pi by 2 with the identical uniform angular speeds in the opposite direction. Okay, and meet again at point B. Okay, so they meet at point B. They both start moving from here, from theta is equal to pi by 2. Then they meet at theta is equal to minus pi by 2. Okay. During this time, which of the following figures schematically represent the magnitude of total linear momentum of the system as a function of theta? Okay, we have to plot the graph between the total function of linear momentum and theta. I'm redrawing the figure here. See, this is the figure. Now see, this particle is moving from here. Okay, from this point O and theta. Okay. Now, if I draw a perpendicular line like this, then this will be 90 degree. Okay. And this particle is moving with a velocity like this. Okay. So alternating. So this angle theta. So alternating this angle will also be theta. Okay. And this will be what? This will be 90 minus theta. And this will be theta. Clear? Now see, same for this particle as well, theta. Okay, and drawing the perpendicular line here, so this will be 90 degrees, and this velocity of this particle as well, and this is theta. Now if I take the horizontal vertical components of these two particles, so here downwards will be what? V cos theta, and like this V sin theta. Horizontal component is this time what? Sin theta, and vertical component is cos theta. As well, same for this V cos theta, and this is what? V sin theta. Now these two are in the opposite direction, magnitude same. So this component, the horizontal component cancel, and only the vertical component is acting on this system. So the total linear momentum of this particle will be what? 2 mv cos theta. As they are in the same direction, so we will be simply adding them. Okay, so this is the function that we got. Now we have to plot the graph. This is starting from theta is equals to pi by 2 and ending from theta is equals to minus pi by 2. It is going from pi by 2 to minus pi by 2. Okay, so if we substitute pi by 2 here, so here we got the total linear momentum 0. Same here as well, we got total angular momentum 0. Means at theta is equals to pi by 2, the linear momentum is what? 0. And as well as for minus pi by 2, it is 0. So seeing the first option, so for pi by 2, theta is equals to pi by 2, it is saying that it is having some linear momentum. No, this is a wrong. It is saying linear momentum is constant. No, wrong. It is saying that linear momentum is a function of cos theta. That is right. But if we substitute theta is equals to pi by 2, then linear momentum should be 0. But here it is saying that linear momentum has some magnitude. So this is also closed. Last option is remaining. If we substitute theta is equals to pi by 2, then the linear momentum is 0. This is the point 0. And as well as for minus pi by 2, the linear momentum is 0. So option number 4 is the correct for this question. Okay. The question was, the length and the language of the question was strange, but if you solve this by the concept and systematically, then your answer will be there. Okay. You just need to have a good knowledge of the trigonometric graphs and the concept of the rotational motion. These type of questions will be solved very easily. These are the very easy questions. See what we have to do. You have done the components, you have written the expression came. You just have to apply your mathematical mind. Theta equals to pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, and your answer will be there. This option is correct. Okay, moving on to next question. Moving on to the next question. Question number 28 and question number 29. Okay, question number 28 is based on the chapter semiconductors. It is one of the most easiest questions of the paper. The question is saying three identical p-n junction diodes D1, D2, D3 are connected across a battery of voltage 5 volts. Okay. If the width of the depletion layer of diode D1 is W1, D2 is W2, D3 is W3, then you have to tell the order of the depletion region. Okay, that how they will decrease or increase. There's a concept in a p-n junction diode in forward bias. When the diode is forward bias, the depletion region decreases, and when it is reverse bias, the depletion region increases. You learn this in semiconductors, so this concept will be used here. You can see that This is a forward bias. This is a forward bias. This is a forward bias, and this is a reverse bias. Here the circuit is open, means this diode is, if we see that this is a forward bias, but current will be not operated here. So we will be taking these two only. So this is a forward bias. So if forward bias is there, then the depletion region decreases. Getting my points, means W1 will be at the least, and it is in reverse bias. And in reverse bias, the depletion region increases, means W3 will be at the top. This will be the order of the depletion region. W3 will be more, W2, W3. Option number 4 will be the answer. Very easy question. Next question. This question is from the topic ray optics. Again, combination of the two lenses, and you have to tell the final image formation. Same question that is asked generally in JEE Mains and as NEET as well. Okay. Question is saying the lens combination as shown in the figure consists of two lenses L1 and L2. Okay. Of the focal length plus 10 centimeters and plus 10 centimeters and minus 10. Okay. The position of the image formed is. We need to tell the position of image formed. Okay. So where it will be formed, in the concave or convex lens. Okay. So first of all, we need to find where this object will make image with respect to the convex lens. So we know the lens formula. What's the lens formula? 1 by f is equals to 1 by v minus 1 by u. This is the basic lens formula. You will be applying this. Okay. So for with respect to the lens 1, what is the focal length given here? The focal length of this is plus 10 centimeters. Sign convention is already given. For concave it minus, convex it's plus. Okay. And what will be the u? U will be minus 30 centimeters. Okay. Minus 30 centimeters, and we will take out v from here. Okay. So 1 by 10 is equals to 1 by v minus plus 1 by 30. So 1 by v is equals to 1 by 10 minus 1 by 30. It will be what? 1 by 10 you can take common. 1 minus 1 by 3. It will be what? 2. It will be 2 by 3. 1 by 10 into 2 by 3. 2 5 by 10 means the v is coming out to be plus 15 centimeters. Means the image with respect to the convex lens is 15 centimeter from the object. Okay. I will draw the diagram here. I am erasing this question. Okay. You can see the answer for the question number 28 was 4. Okay. I am erasing this question due to the lack of space here. Now see. V is coming out to be plus 15. Okay. Now I will be redrawing this diagram here. This is O. This is the lens 1. Okay. And this is the lens 2. Okay. This is 30 centimeters. And between this lens is 3 centimeters. And the image formed is plus 15 centimeters from this. Means 15 centimeter will be somewhat from this, it will be here. Okay. The object here, this will come. Okay. And it will form the image somewhat here. Okay. So from here it will be what? 15 centimeters. Somewhere here. Okay. Now the image distance of this lens will become the object distance for the concave lens. Okay. Now we need to find the image final, where the final image is formed. Again applying the lens formula. Now this time the image distance of the convex lens is the object distance of the concave lens. So what will be the object distance here? You can see 15 centimeters. Here 15 centimeters. And this is 3 centimeter between this lens. So the u will be what? U will be 15 minus 3, which will be 12 centimeters. This will be the final object distance. This is 15, this is 3. So this distance will be 15 minus 3, which is 12 centimeters. U is there, F is given as minus 10. So just apply. Minus 1 by 10 is equals to 1 by V minus 1 by 12. So here 1 by V will be 1 by 12 minus 1 by 10. You can solve this. 12 and 10. 60. Okay. So 12, 5 and 10 6. It's minus 1 by 60. Okay. And V is coming out to be minus 60 centimeters. means the final image is formed at the negative side minus 60 centimeters. So the final image with respect to these two lengths will form at minus 60 centimeters from here. So minus 60 means the image will be formed from 60 centimeters to the left of the concave lens. Okay, see, to the left minus 60 is there, so minus x quadrant, so here image will form, and this is what left side of the concave lens means 60 centimeter. Option number 3 is the correct answer. Basic question, you just have to apply the lens formula two times, and you need to remember this concept that whenever two lenses are given, so when you apply the lens formula and take out the image distance with respect to one lens, it becomes the object distance with respect to the second lens. Okay, so this was the question, and now moving on to the next questions. Moving on to next question. The next question is from the topic rotational motion, and rotational dynamics has a very high weightage in this paper. Again, a question of rotation motion. This question is from the moment of inertia topic. In rotation, generally they ask the question from either angular momentum conservation, either about the moment of inertia. Okay. So the question is saying a solid sphere A of radii r and mass capital M is attached to a point to a smaller solid sphere B of radii r and mass small m. See, assuming that the line joining their centers lie along the horizontal. Okay, the moment of inertia of the system calculated about a vertical axis passing through the center of A. Okay, passing center of A is IA, and that calculated for above the through center of B is IB. Then we have to tell the difference between IA and IB. Let us do for the figure A. For A1, see, this is the solid sphere 1 A. This is A, and this is passing through the center of this, and the radius is capital R, and the mass is small m, and the line joining here, you can see this is a small sphere B of mass small m. Okay, and the radius is what? Radius is small r. Now you have to tell the moment of inertia about this point IA. Now for the bigger sphere, if I write, so IA will be what? IA will be what? For this bigger sphere, it is for the sphere, solid sphere, 2 by 5 mr square. Okay, so it will be what? 2 by 5. For the bigger one, we are writing capital M into r square plus. Now for this, see, about the center of mass, I am writing the moment of inertia. So for the smaller one as well, first of all, we will be writing the moment of inertia about the center, and we need it at this point. So we will be applying the parallel axis theorem. Okay, so this will be what? For this, 2 by 5 into small m into r square and plus m into r plus r, capital R, whole square. This is only the parallel axis theorem. So this is the IA that has been written here. Okay. Now you will be writing for this figure B. For this figure B, you will be writing this is IA. Now for the figure B, you can see this is the capital, and this is the capital A, and this is the bigger sphere of radius R and capital mass M, and this is the smaller sphere, and this is the small r and small m, and we need to tell about this axis IB. So you will be writing IB like this. IB will be, first of all, for this smaller sphere, it will be what? 2 by 5 into small mr square plus. Now for this bigger one, about the center of mass, and then apply the parallel axis theorem. That's it. It will be what? 2 by 5 into capital mr square plus m into capital M into r plus r whole square. This is the I and IB. Now I need to tell the difference. Okay, just difference you have to tell. Okay, so I am doing the difference of both using the figure. Now I am writing here IA. IA has came 2 by 5 into capital mr square plus 2 by 5 into small mr square plus small m into r plus r whole square. IB is 2 by 5 into small mr square plus 2 by 5 into capital MR square plus MR plus R whole square. This is IA and I. Okay. Now just you need to difference them. Now we are doing minus sign, so minus 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 minus. Now here see 2 by 5 mr square, 2 by 5 mr square cancel. Okay, 2 by 5 small mr square, 2 by 5 small mr square cancel. This all term will be cancelled. So IA minus IB is coming out to be what? It is coming out to be small m minus capital M into R plus R whole square. This is the final IA minus IB. Small m minus capital M R plus R whole square. Small m minus capital M, small m minus capital M R plus R whole square. This is the option, which is the option number 3rd. This is the question. It was a quite easy question. You just have to have the clear concept of parallel axis theorem and the moment of inertia. You need to learn about all the figures. Okay, so this was the question. The length of the question was a little bit of same, but yeah, question was almost very easy. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. The next question is from the chapter Modern Physics, and it is one of the most easiest question of the paper. Question is saying, consider that an electron is revolving in an excited state of hydrogen atom, okay, with the velocity this. You need to find the radius of the orbit. Radius of orbit is in the expression of x into 10 power minus 9. You need to find the value of x. Very simple. If a hydrogen atom is revolving around a circle, then there must be a centripetal force acting on it in center. Okay, and the interaction between the two electrons means the Coulombic force will also be acting. Okay, so at equilibrium there will be what? Mv square by R will be equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. Just apply this equation. R cancel. It will be what? Mv square is equals to K E square by R. Substitute the values. Mass of the electron is 9 into 31 into V square. V square is what? This is 225.6 into 10 to the power 10 is equals to 4. You can write the value of K as 9 to 10 to the power 9 into E square. What is E square? It is 1.1.6. So it is what? 1.6 into 1.6. It is 2.56. 2.56 into 10 to the power minus 38 by R. Yes, by R. Okay. Now you will be solving this. 9 cancel. Okay. And this also cancel. So this is what? 10 to the power minus 31 into 256 into 10 to the power 9 is equals to 10 to the power 9 into 256 into 10 to the power minus what? Minus 31 by R. So 256, this is 10 to the power 9, 10 to the power 9, and this will be what? 38, 39, 40. This is 40, I'm sorry, so sorry, I will 10 to the power minus 40. Okay. Now the radius will be what? Radius will be 1 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters. Comparing it with the above equation, so x is coming out to be 1. Means the correct option answer is 1. Okay. Moving on to next question. Moving on to next question. The next question is from the chapter Kinetic Theory of Gases, and it is also a very easy question of the paper. Based on only one formula of the mean free path, this question can be solved. See, the question is saying the mean free path of molecules in an ideal gas A is half the another ideal gas B. The diameters of the spherical molecules of gas A is twice the diameter of molecules of B. If number of densities of gases of A and B are N and Nb respectively, then you have to tell the relation between N and Nb. Simple, you know the mean free path formula lambda. It is noted by lambda is 1 upon root 2 pi N into D square. This is the general relation for lambda. Clear? Now see, here given that the mean free path. Okay, so it's saying that lambda of A is lambda of B by 2. Okay, and also it is saying that diameter of A is 2 times the diameter of B. This is only saying, yeah. Now you can just write lambda of A is equals to 1 upon root 2 pi n A into dA square, and lambda of B is 1 upon root 2 pi nb into dB square, taking the ratios of both. So lambda A by lambda B is it will be what? It will be nb by na into dB by dA whole square. Okay. Now lambda A by lambda B is 1 by 2 and nb by na, and dB by dA is what? dB by dA. Okay. So dB by dA is 1 by 2. So this is square. So 1 by 2 whole square. This cancel. This is coming out to be na is nb by 2. This is the relation between both. Option number 1 is correct. Very easy question. Okay, moving on to the next question. Moving on to the question number 38. This question is from the chapter Units and Dimension. And looking forward to the question is saying, consider that sigma s kbb represents the Boltzmann constant and Bayes displacement law constant respectively. You need to tell the dimension of this expression. Just you need to learn the dimension. The dimension for the Stephen Boltzmann constant is mt minus 3 k minus 4. Okay. The dimension for kb means Boltzmann constant. It is what? ml2 t minus 2 k minus 1. And dimension for the Bayes displacement constant is L into k. This is the dimension that you need to remember. Now just you have to see sigma s kb inverse n into b. It will be what? mt minus 3 k minus 4 into inverse of this m minus 1 and to just change the sign, and this will be L into k. Now further if you solve this, m cancel and this will be what? T minus 1, t also cancel, k minus 2, and this will be L minus 1. Okay. This is minus 2. Okay, this is minus 2. So this will be L minus 1. So this is the dimension for this expression. This is what? L minus 1, T minus 1, K minus 2, option number B. Very easy question. Okay. Just you have to remember the dimension. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next two questions. The first question, 39, is from the chapter Modern Physics again. Modern physics has a very high weightage in in this paper. Okay, many questions from modern physics, rotational dynamics, as well as from the magnetism part and also ray optics. They are the most important weightage topics of this paper. Okay, the first one is from the modern physics section. Second one is from modern physics section as well. Okay, so this question is saying a ray of light with wavelength lambda is incident on three different photoelectric cells, namely 1, 2, and 3. Okay, three different photoelectric cells, 1, 2, and 3, and it is saying that the threshold wavelength of this are lambda 1, lambda 2, and lambda 3, and any light of wavelength lambda is falling on it. Also given that photoelectric, or sorry, stopping potential of the cell is V1, V2, V3. You need to tell the relation between V1, V2, V3 stopping potential. You have been given that lambda is greater than lambda 1, but it is smaller than lambda 2. Also, it's given that lambda 3 is very, 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 very big than lambda. This is the relation. Now you know that for the occurrence of the photoelectric effect, the light which is incident on the surface, its wavelength should be greater than the threshold wavelength of that material. Okay, but you know that that here the incident light whose lambda is greater than its threshold wavelength means photoelectric effect can't occur here. For occurrence of photoelectric effect, the threshold wavelength should be greater than the wavelength of light incident on that surface. Okay, means at the first means V1 no photoelectric effect will occur, so the stopping potential will be zero. Means V1 will be zero. For the last one, you can see that the lambda 3 threshold wavelength of the third material is very much greater than the wavelength of light incidence. Means the photoelectric effect will occur mostly on the third and then on second. Means V3 will be greater than V2. This is the relation. V1 should be 0, V2 less than V3, option number second. Okay, just the concept of photoelectric effect. Always remember that for the occurrence of photoelectric effect, I repeat, the threshold wavelength of that material should be greater than the wavelength of the light incident on that material. Clear? This question was complete. It's a very quite easy question, but yeah, concept of photoelectric effect should be on your tips. Now, second question is also from modern physics. Let us read. A photon and an electron, each of 20 electron volt energy, move in a free space. The ratio of the linear momentum of electron to the linear momentum of photon. Okay. We know that linear momentum is nothing but mass into velocity. This is the linear momentum. Now, for linear momentum of electron, how will you write it? Electron is what? It's a particle. For any particle, it will have a certain velocity. So we will write momentum as mass into velocity only. For photon, see, photon is a kind of light or there is a kind of energy which is incident. It's a kind of light only. So photon, it will be what? E by c, energy by the speed of light. How it came? C. You know de Broglie wavelength is h upon mass into velocity. This is, and energy is equals to hc by lambda. You can just substitute lambda in this. You will get energy is equals to P into C, and P is what? Mass into velocity. So P of photon will come out to be E by C. This is the derivation of this. Okay. Now let's now just see what we have to take. We have to take the ratio of these two. Okay. This linear momentum is in the terms of energy. So electron linear momentum should also in the term of energy. How will you write mass into velocity? You know that the lambda in the terms of energy you can write as h upon under root में 2m into energy, and in the terms of linear momentum it's mass into velocity. So it's comparing two equations. So mass into velocity can be written as root over 2 into mass into energy. Okay. Now just take the ratios. We need to take ratio P by PH. PE by PH. So energy is same only. Okay. So P is what? Root over 2me into, it will what? C by E. So taking inside the root, it will be what? Root over 2mc square upon E. Just substitute the values. Okay. Here m is the mass of what? Electron. So 2 into, what is the mass of electron? 9 into 10 to the power minus 31 into c square. 3 into 10 to the power 8. 9 into 10 to the power 16 upon E. What is the energy? It is energy is 20 electron volts. So convert it into volts. So 20 multiplied by the electronic charge 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 31. You will be solving this. You will get the ratio as 225. Option number 4. Simple formula based question. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Question number 40. The question number 40 is from the chapter SHN. Question is saying consider spring mass simple harmonic oscillator in one dimension. Okay. The mass of the particle is mkg and the spring constant is k. Okay. At a given instant, the extension of the spring is x meters. Okay. And the speed of the particle is v. On the xv plane, if the graph of v as a function of x is circle, then we have to tell the relation between k and m. Okay. In SHM, you know the velocity of any particle can be written as omega under root a square minus x square. This is the general formula. Okay. So now you need to convert this into equation of circle. So square both the sides. Okay. So v square is equals to omega square a square minus x square. Okay. V square is equals to omega square a square minus omega square x square. Okay. Now take this into the LHS. V square plus omega square x square is equals to omega square a square. Now we know that the equation for a unit circle is in the form of x square plus y square barabar 1. Okay, so v square upon taking this into the denominator omega square a square plus x square by a square is equals to 1. This is the circle equation. Now if this need to be the equation of circle, then here this omega should be 1, means omega square should be 1, means omega should be equal to 1. This is the relation which is coming up. Okay. Now if the omega is 1, then this equation transforms as v square plus x square is equals to a square. This is the final equation. Okay. Now omega 1. So we know one relation between the spring constant and the mass, that is k is equals to m omega square. This is the relation. Okay. Substitute omega is equals to 1 here, so you get k is equals to n. Which option? Option number 3rd is it. Okay, very easy question, formula based. Okay, moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. This question is from the chapter magnetism, and this question is one of the good questions of the paper. The question is saying two infinitely long parallel conducting wires A and B carrying currents I and 2I respectively. Okay, and in the same direction. The wire A has a uniform mass per unit length lambda and lies on an insulating floor. Okay, the wire B is kept fixed at a height h above the floor, the minimum magnitude of h, so that the wire A does not rises from the floor is. Okay, we need to calculate this h when the wire A is at equilibrium. Okay, so this question is saying that you have two infinitely long wires. Okay, these are the wires, and B is kept at a height of h from A, from the floor. Sorry, and A is carrying the current I, and B is also carrying the 2I in same directions. Now see, whenever two infinitely wires are carrying the currents in same direction, then both the wires attract each other, and when they have the currents in the opposite direction, they repel each other. Okay, so if we draw all the forces on this A wire, what will the forces? See, because current direction is same, so a force will be acting here. Okay, and a gravity will also attract it, mg. Okay, how will you write a force on a keen wire is I B into L. This is the formula. Now see, the current will be due to the second wire, and magnetic field will be due to this wire A only. Okay, this is the concept. Whenever you write this formula, the current will be flown due to the second wire, because due to the flow of current, it is attracting this wire A, and magnetic field will be due to this wire A only. Okay, due to its own. So it will be what? 2I into, what is the magnetic field due to a infinitely wire? Mu naught upon 2 pi due to its own current I by h into L. Because it's given that unit length, so we will treat that L is 1 meters on 1 meters or centimeters only. Okay, so now L is 1, so the force is coming out to be 2 to cancel, mu naught I square upon pi h. This is the force. Now substitute in the above equation. So force will be equal to mg. So mu naught I square upon pi h is equal to mass. Mass will be what? Mass will be lambda by L. But L is 1, so we will write lambda into g. So from here H is coming out to be what? H is coming out to be mu naught I square upon lambda pi g. This is the height expression, which is your option number third. Okay, so this was the question. It was a pretty good question, but yeah, it was based on the equilibrium concept and the concept of this IBL. Okay, so it was an easy question. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to next question. Next question is again from the chapter thermodynamics, and the question is saying 1 mole of an ideal monoatomic gas undergoes a cyclic process as shown in the figure. Clear? The total heat supplied to the gas. Very easy question. See, this is a cyclic process. According to the first law of thermodynamics, delta Q is equals to delta U plus work done. This is the first law of thermodynamics. In a cyclic process, the change in internal energy is generally considered at zero. Means the change in heat that we need to find is equal to the work done. And how will you write the work done here? The area under the curve, and this is a what? This is a rectangle types of shape. Okay. So rectangle area is what? Length into breadth. So it will be what? Length. This is how much? 3 length into breadth. For a sake, I think there is a printing mistake. Let me see. Oh, I'm so sorry. It is 300. Okay. This is 300 minus 100, which is 200. Yeah, it is 600 joules. Option number 4. Very easy question. Okay, but just apply formula and get the answer. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. The next question is also from modern physics section. This question is from the Geiger-Marsden experiment of the scattering of number of particles. So question is saying in Geiger-Marsden experiment, the number of scattered alpha particles and theta is plotted against a function theta. Which of the following options represents the correct plot? Very easy question. You know that number of particles, alpha particle that are splitted, it is inversely proportional to sine to the power 4 theta by 2. Okay, this is the relation. The formula was a quite longer formula, but yeah, because it is it is known to us we have to find the relation between n and theta. So this is the relation. Means if we substitute theta is equals to 0, then n should tend to infinity. Just see which graph do this. Do this. Do this satisfy this? If theta is 0, n is turning out to be between 0 and 100. No, this option is wrong. Second option, if theta is 0, then n is turning out to be between the 10 to the power 2 and 1. No, this is also wrong. Option number 3, it is saying if theta is 0, then n is 10 to the power 7 and above. No, it is also not. Last option, if theta is 0, then n tends to infinity. Fourth option is correct. Okay, so this was the question, and it was a very easy question. Less than 10 seconds you can do this question. Okay, moving on to the next question. Now, moving on to the second last question of the paper. This question is again from electrostatics. Okay, let us see what the question is saying. A point charge Q is placed inside a cavity with a solid isolated conducting sphere. Okay, so there is a charge Q which is inside a solid conducting sphere. Consider points A, B, and C. Okay, as shown in the figure, where the magnitudes of the electric field at EA, EB, EC respectively. Okay, the points B and C are at the same distance from the center of the solid sphere. Correct options. We need to tell which of the options are correct related to the electric field of these points. So see, inside this cavity a charge Q is there. You know generally inside a cavity whenever there is no charge, so no electric field exists there. But here a charge is there, so means the electric field will exist. Okay, so electric field at A will not be equal to 0. Why? Because a charge is present inside the cavity. If the charge was not present, then you would say that electric field at A is 0. Now what about C and B? You know that electric field at B is equals to what? At any point B, due to this isolation sphere, electric field at B will be equal to electric field at C. Why? because they both are kept at the same distance. So the effect of the electric field at point B will be same as the effect in the point C. So means the magnitude of the electric field at B and electric field at C will be equal. Which option satisfies this? Option number second. So the answer for this question is option number second. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, friends. Now moving on to the last question of the paper, and this question was the last question of the physics paper. The question is from the chapter experimental physics and from the topic Vernier type. The basic question which is generally asked about the least count and the length of the wire, the question is same as that. See what the question is saying. Language is quite a lengthy, but yeah, you can solve this. And this was the question that I was talking about. This question and the EM waves question. Okay, so that question and EM waves question are the two bonus questions which are there. Okay, so this question is also a bonus question. How? Let me tell you the solution. One main scale division of a vernier caliper is equal to 1 millimeter. Okay, so you can note down the data that 1 MSD is what? 1 millimeters, and the number of divisions on the vernier scale is 10. Okay, on the vernier scale the divisions are what? 10. Now from here, first of all, take out the least count. How will you take out the least count? MSD upon vernier scale, it is 1 upon 10, which is 0.1 millimeters. You can convert this into centimeters because the answer have to be in the centimeter only. So 0.01 centimeters. Okay. Moving further, when both the jaws touch each other, the vernier scale shifts to the left of the zero of the main scale in such a way that the fourth vernier division coincides with the division of the main scale. Okay. If the vernier caliper measures the length of wire to be 1 centimeter, then the actual length of the wire is. Now you have to focus on this language. It is saying that the jaws touch each other and the vernier scale shifts to the left of the zero. Okay, of the main scale in such a way that the fourth vernier scale division coincides with the division of the main scale. So in the main scale, the vernier division is there. Vernier scale division is there in the main scale. Means the actual least count will be what? It will be C. Fourth vernier division coincides with the division of main scale. Means the actual will be what? Vernier scale division is 10. So actual will be 10 minus 4, which is 6. This is the final least count. Okay, this is the percentage of error that is there. Okay, and this you need to multiply in the least count. Clear? Now see, here the radius is what? 1 centimeters. So the actual length of wire will be what? The actual length of the wire will be radius plus 6 times of least count. So radius is 1 plus 6 into 0.01. It is 0.01. It is 1.06 centimeter is the actual length of the wire. No option is matching here. See, 1.04, 0.06, 0.96, 1. So this is the question which is bonus, and marks will be awarded to all the candidates if NTA measures this question as bonus or not. Okay, so let us wait for the answer key, and this question might be bonus or not. Okay, so this was a discussion for the whole physics paper of NEET. I will be back with the discussion of chemistry as well. So stay tuned with my channel, and if you like the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel Study with Ishant, and I will see you guys in the next one. Good luck.